Hello. Why am I doing this? I don't know. Lately, with things going on, my mental health hasn't been all that great, you know? And the only thing I can really think to do is bake, make food, cook. Uh, Things are tight, grocery wise, so I've been making things without eggs, making things with a lot of different ingredients that, I just thought maybe I might be able to help people, someone feel better. Like, hey, you're not dealing with this by yourself. And if the only thing you know how to do is make food, then you're definitely not alone because that's all I know how to do. I know how to make food. I know how to bake. I spent a good amount of time as a baker and a chef, sous chef. And, it just puts my mind at ease. And I think a lot of people need that, you know. So I'm just going to start. And I'm going to make some really awesome trash can cookies.
I'm gonna bake something tasty. Gonna bake crazy. Ow!
So what we have here is 2 1/4 cup of flour. Be sure that you spoon and level that flour, friends. You want accurate measurements here. Then we have 3/4 cup of brown sugar and 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. We have 1½ teaspoons of cornstarch, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and a ½ teaspoon of salt. 1 egg and 1 egg yolk. 2 teaspoons of vanilla. So just take your cornstarch and your baking soda and your salt. Add that to this flour, your dry ingredients here. And you're probably wondering why the cornstarch. Well, personally, I don't like flat cookies. There are a couple of different things that can make your cookies go flat. Not measuring correctly, not getting your sugar right, not getting your butter right could make your cookies go flat. So I think, and I found, and you'll see this once these cookies come out, that putting a little cornstarch in with the dry ingredients, it's just going to help your cookies kind of stay together because you're, if it's something like a brownie, something that's going to be in the oven for about 30 minutes or so, you're going to get time to rise, time to set. But with cookies, you're only going to have these in the oven for about 10 minutes. So that's not going to give you a lot of bake time to rise and set the way that something longer in the oven would do. So the cornstarch is just going to help those cookies stay set and not spread out too flat, if that is something that you prefer. And that is something that I prefer, especially when it comes to trash can cookies, because look at this. How many people look? Come on, look. This is awesome. Look at this. Okay, this is here. This is some pretzel bits, some Oreo cookies, some butterscotch. You got, my hands are clean. Don't anybody worry. Okay, look, my hands are clean. I keep a very clean kitchen. Hygiene is important. Remember that. Okay, when you're baking, when you're cooking, you're doing anything out in the world, man. Hygiene's important. Okay, but look here. Okay, look, cookie bits, pretzels. These are butterscotch chips. Heath cookie bits. I mean, okay, you name it. All right, you get the idea here. These are trash can cookies. These are gonna be thick cookies. They're gonna have a lot of good stuff inside, and so you need the cookie to hold up. You don't want it to get flat, and yeah, that's just gonna be like, who wants a saucer-sized trash can cookie that's flat, man. All the stuff, all the good things, the bits are just gonna no. Okay, forget it. This is going on too long. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. You see what this world has done to me? I'm out of it, man. Okay, hold on. I'll be right back. So I've got 1.5 sticks of butter here, and I'm just gonna add all that sugar. All right. Now, when they say cream, butter, and sugar, this is what they mean. What's up, Nugget? I'm making cookies. That's the baby. Wednesday, come back here! Back to it. Okay, now dropping those eggs. Oh, and the vanilla. Yum. Yum. I'll mix all this good stuff in here. Do it by hand. So, how do you get your cookies to be uniform, same size, roughly same shape? Easy. You take your cookie dough when you are done mixing in all the good stuff, you know. Put it down on a piece of plastic wrap, you know, and roughly form it into a log around the shape and size that you're wanting. You know, a couple inches, you know. You'll see in a few minutes here when I go to bake some, how you can make them as thick as you want. And like I said, the cornstarch in the batter is going to prevent them from getting really flat. Also, by taking this log of dough and placing it in the freezer, even just for a couple of hours, you're going to get a much firmer dough, so that when you go to cut it, it will stay in keep its shape, keep its form, and you'll get sand dollar sized chunks that will then give you uniform cookies. Anyone who wants to know where the baby is while I'm doing these videos, baby's asleep. See, look at her. She's beautiful, sleeping like a tiny, sweet little angel, even though she's going to wake up, no doubt, and run amok, causing mischief. But here, take a few seconds, folks, and just relax. Take a breath. Watch Wednesday sleeping. Breathe. Everything's going to be okay. In about 10 minutes, we're going to have some really nice, yummy, beautiful cookies. And, okay, so look. Look, okay. There's the baby. Yeah? See, turn around here. Here's the kitchen, alright? So I'm not very far away. Here we are. Here's the oven. Like a nice little window. Look in here and just check on those cookies. See how they're keeping their form. They're cold, and that, again, that little bit, just, you know, a tablespoon or two, a tablespoon and a half of cornstarch will keep those cookies fairly firm, so they're not going to be flat, chewy discs. Just have so much on my mind lately, you know? I try to calm down, calm my thoughts. It's difficult. It's about 3 in the afternoon. You know, I have afternoons free, roughly from about 12:30 on. I'm here with my daughter. I'm taking care of her. She's napping, and I just keep thinking, like, what can I do? You know, what can be done about the state of the country. I don't want to get too political. I don't really want to get into anyone else's political views or leanings, but things are getting a little dark, a little dire. I'm a librarian. I mean, my job requires me to be informed and to inform others, and it's hard to do that without losing your mind. To stay relatively informed, but not going over the edge. And I don't know. I'm not a politician. I'm not a lawyer. I just feel helpless. I have a little girl in there who's 2 years old, and I just feel helpless. I don't know. I don't know what to do for her. I don't know how to. Am I enough? Do I have what it takes to raise my daughter in this world? To take care of her, to keep her safe? Am I good enough for that? Am I a good enough husband that I can take care of my wife? A lot of questions. Being bipolar does not help me at all. Those questions, those thoughts are very They're racing. They're abundant. No matter what, even at work, my job is to file books and to help people in the community with information, with computer needs, with you name it. You name it. The public library does everything. We take care of the homeless for a good portion of the day. It can be taxing. I have been, for lack of a better word, verbally assaulted by many people, simply for doing my job, simply for asking grown adults to behave themselves. I get assaulted, I get cussed at, I get confronted. I walk to and from work every day. And a mile or two, I think it's roughly a mile and a half from my doorstep to the steps of the library. So I do that twice a day. And I see everyone in my town who would be on the street. I see all the homeless. I see anyone who would be walking. I pass shops on my way home, and I give a wave. Yan's hot dogs. I wave in the window. Kathy Yan is my neighbor. They are a Fairmont establishment. A legend. So every day I cross onto the bridge and I wave. See, I don't even know where I was going with that. It smells good. It smells really good. It really does. It smells like coconut and chocolate and butterscotch, and this reminds me of those 7-layer bars that you might find at bake sales and whatnot. My mom used to make them when I was a kid. They've got all the signs there: chocolate, coconut, butterscotch. I was always a fan of butterscotch. That was me. I wanted butterscotch pudding. I love butterscotch chips. Not many fans of the butterscotch, especially in the 80s, my friends. But anyway, that's what this smells like. It smells really good. It smells. I love the smell of coconut. Before I bake the cookies in my bowl of awesome, I added coconut, of course. But I toasted that coconut. What that does when you toast anything, coconut or nuts. Anytime you do that, you're releasing natural oils and flavors and aromas. And it's really easy. I mean, you set your oven to something low, about 325. Put it in there for 10 minutes, and up at about the 5-minute mark. Of course, lay out your coconut. I put it on everything on a parchment paper, and it just helps with the cleanup. But lay your coconut out on the parchment paper, put it in the oven, about 325. Like I said, 5 minutes. Take it out, give it a good stir. You're going to see it's going to brown on the edges, of course. But when you stir it, you're going to notice the oils in the coconut, and it's going to smell very fragrant. Okay, and using raw desiccated coconut in your cookies or in your baked goods, it's fine. You're still going to get a coconut flavor. It's perfectly okay. But you'll notice again when you toast something like nuts or coconut that it'll smell very fragrant and very good, very toasty. Yeah, toasty. So hey, look, fellow people, friends, I don't even know. Viewers. I don't have viewers. This is my first time doing this thing. Um, I have friends who thought that I might be able to help others out there by showing them how to do simple baking, you know? Teaching little things like how to spoon and level your flour, which I don't know if I showed you how to do. It's very easy. Spoon the flour in the cup. Take, here, my friends. It's not hard. It's actually very simple. And what it does is, look, when you add something like flour to baked goods, you are adding everything that's in that flour. You're adding more grains, you're adding more gluten, okay? So that is why when you pick up a cookie that is dense and cakey and heavy, it's probably too much flour, okay? And very simply put, when it asks for 2 1/4 cup flour, you scoop that flour, you take a simple butter knife, and you scoop along the top of the cup to have a level, even cup of flour. Easy. And then, should your cookies come out too chewy or too flat, again, and this is not by no means. Do never take this as a sign of you being bad at what you're doing. But it could be a little too much sugar in the batter. Sugar does what you think it's going to do. It does what you see in when you put it into a pan. It spreads out and it caramelizes, goes flat. Butter, same thing, melts, goes flat. So your cookies, a little too much butter, a little too much sugar, they could go flat. Okay. This recipe, it's why I've been taking these things over time and kind of adding here and there and just kind of to get the right flavor, but also to get the right consistency. Personally, I like a large cookie, but also like a crunchy cookie with a soft middle, kind of nice around the edges. Something I say that bakery style, something you would find in a bakery. When you go to a bakery, you're looking for a certain kind of cookie, and you know exactly what I'm trying to say. Everyone who goes to an Amish market or a bakery, everyone who stops by and says, "Oh, hey, you're driving, look at that bakery over there. Perhaps we should stop by." And when you walk inside that bakery, what are you looking for? You're looking for a cookie. I know you are. We all are. And we're looking for that perfect bakery cookie. Okay? I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like in 1 second. Okay, so it's a waiting game, folks. You hear that? That means I have a minute left, okay? It's a waiting game. So look, I can't stress enough the importance, especially when you're baking a cake, okay? Don't open the oven, my friends. I happen to have a little window here that is a little hard to see through. This isn't my oven. I bought this house, okay? This oven was in operation doing its thing long before I got here, okay? So it's got baked on crud, which I've tried to clean off, but this is a digression I don't want to get into. Listen, we got to resist the urge to open the oven, because when you do that, you're releasing heat from the oven. And I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but especially when you're constantly looking, which someone like myself wouldn't normally want to do, you're releasing a lot of heat from that oven, so that is going to cause a longer bake time, or it's going to cause your cakes especially to deflate, which you don't want. Also, there you go. What you want is a nice brown, even cookie, and you're going to get that with nice brown, even heat, which you're not going to get when you keep opening the oven door, friends, so hold tight. Yeah! There you go. Look at that. I mean, it's only a few cookies, but they are very nice. Look at this. Here's my hand for reference. The size of these nice, sweet things. Look at this. Look at that. Like a very nice rise on here, on these cookies here. Okay. Nice, crispy edges, see, what I like to say, bakery style. They are golden. Okay, so naturally, I made cookies last night. Look at this thing. This is from yesterday, okay? Nice. Ooh. crispy edges, nice little brown edges here. But look, that's what I'm saying. Keeps its shape. It's nice and large. Yeah, like I said, when you go to roll your dough into the plastic wrap, you can shape that log into any size you want. Large cookies, smaller cookies, and the firmer it gets, the easier it is to cut and keep its shape. And it'll keep roughly the shape of a silver dollar or larger, depending on how you work it. Okay. Just put it in the freezer for a couple of hours. That's all you really need. And then what I usually do is I this recipe that we've just made here is it's roughly 2 dozen cookies. Yeah, roughly 2 dozen cookies, depending on how you cut them. You know. But hey, look at this. Look at that. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Yes, that's what they do on QVC to show you awesome. Okay? This is how you know it's awesome. It's good. It's really good. That's from yesterday. But anyway, I really want to stress the importance of chilling your dough. See, why am I talking while I'm eating this cookie? So many mistakes that I just want to talk to you. I just want to show you how awesome cookies are. It's great. It's a great cookie. It's very good. Look, as I said, I've cobbled together these recipes that I'm going to show everybody from time. I've worked in bakeries. I worked in a boutique bakery in Cincinnati. I worked in a more lower scale bakery in Morgantown, and in Atlanta. I've been a sous chef. I've worked in restaurants, in the kitchen, in all manners. But I always came back to baking. I went to a technical school when I was in college or high school for baking and culinary arts, and I always carried it with me. Skills, things I've learned, lots of boring stories that you're probably going to hear, whether you want to or not. Fast forward through them. It's right here. You cut it off if you want to. You don't have to listen to me. You listen to me for. I'm nobody. I'm a dad. Okay, I got a baby in there. I can't stress enough. She's just passed out, man. She's just completely. She's done. You know, I get home about 12:30, 1 o'clock, and usually around that time she's tired, and she goes and lays down and takes a nap, and I get to watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, or watching this new Spider-Man cartoon on Disney Plus. It's pretty good. But anyway, yes, chilling the cookie dough. I remember as a kid, my mom would make chocolate chip cookies, and they would flatten out. They always be these flat discs, these flat chewy things, or cakey, like I told you before. So she's either adding too much flour, and you don't know these as a kid. You don't know these things. You just know cookie is a cookie, you know. But when they would flatten out, it would always annoy me. I guess because I wanted that bakery experience, because we never got it. We never went to bakeries. We never went out. So when we did, it's like you got this special thing, and it's the size of a saucer, you know. And I guess I just always wanted that. I chased it, you know, and so there are simple things you can do to give you that look, that technique. If you're a single dad, or if you're just a dad out there, just wanting to make cookies for your kids and to show them, like, what I tell my wife all the time, it's a little bit of flair. You know, a little bit of flair goes a long way. So when you have these nice uniform cookies that plate well and are crispy and nice around the edges and personally, that to me, that's always something I gravitated toward, as opposed to these gooey, lumpy messes, which is fine. When if you just make the batter, you can do that. You can just whip up the cookies, plop them down on the tray, and just bake them. You can do that all you want. I mean, but what you're going to get are flat blobs of cookies, and I that's not me. People, it's just not. I look. Anyone who knows me or has been to one of my office Christmas parties knows that I am all about flair. Okay, I'll be the first to admit that last year I made a very beautiful. I thought, and everyone else saw it too. Look, I'm not going to toot my own horn or force my own petard here, but I years ago I had bought. And this is a slight digression, so again, feel free. Exit out this video. Don't even. But if you'd like to hear a nice little story about my daughter and a Christmas cake, here we go. I was preparing for the office Christmas party prior to my daughter's birth, and I wanted to make a bundt cake. I wanted to make, in particular, a spiced orange cranberry bundt cake. And so I had toiled with this recipe for quite a long time, and I really wanted to do this, and so I bought a bundt pan, a beautiful bundt pan. One second. Look at this thing. It is gorgeous. This is a gorgeous bundt pan. Look at this. Look at that. Okay? It's fantastic. Look at the cake. Look. Awesome, okay? Now I'm back. Everything's got a magnetic lock because of the baby. You're gonna magnet in the door. It's actually very handy if you're a dad out there and you don't try to keep them out of the kitchen. It's fantastic. It's just a little lock that goes onto the door. You put the little magnet on the door. Unlocks. It's great. Anyway, I bought this bundt pan and I was so excited to make this cake. My daughter was an emergency birth in November 17th, and it was out of nowhere. My wife called and said there are complications and they're gonna do a C-section and they're gonna take her out. And my mother-in-law picked me up, and we rushed to the hospital. And this is probably something I'll go into much more detail with later on. But there were complications, and we were there for 4 weeks, and I never left her. And so I missed the office Christmas party, and I didn't get to make my cake. And then the following year, there were things going on, and I really couldn't be there, and so I'm so excited to make this cake with this bundt pan that I bought brand new, and it's glorious, isn't it? So I make this cake, and I'm going to be the first to tell you, I mean, it looked glorious. It really did. But in my opinion, as the guy who baked it, I can say this, okay? It was dry, all right? Now, everybody, I even soaked this cake in simple syrup. Okay, I went to one would say possibly extremes here, but I don't half-ass anything. Okay, so I candied some orange peel as well as some cranberries. Some sugared cranberries on top. It was a nice bit of flair, but also. If you've ever had some sugared cranberries, refreshing. Cranberries are considered a palate cleanser, okay? So, I soaked these cranberries in a simple syrup for a little while, and then I rolled them in sugar. That's how I did it. I then took the simple syrup and I used it to essentially baste the cake. And so I thought, it's gonna add the cranberry and the orange flavor. It's gonna be great, right? It's gonna help. It'll help the cake. It was a dry cake, I really do feel, and so the flavor was good. but uh, there's nothing you can do about those kind of things. You know, I mean, you always have the best of intentions, and baking and cooking, we always have the best of intentions, and sometimes we get right here. We get a really good, fantastic looking cookie. Look at this thing. Look, that is phenomenal. Okay, that's a great cookie. All right, this is out of the oven. I just picked this up right off the counter here. Look, it's a nice size, very crispy. And as you saw, as I showed you before, look at this thing. This from yesterday. There, you know, it's chewy. It's got a nice chewy center, nice around the edges. But you know, what I was saying about what do I do, you know, and you're probably out there, you're probably asking yourselves the same questions. What do I do? I'm a librarian. I'm nobody, you know. And when the laws come down, the laws come down. I'm no one. I voted, and I stay abreast of politics and what's going on. But what do I have? I mean, not much, you know. So I wanted, and so I thought, look, one one dry cake aside, I'm a pretty good baker. I'm a weird guy with a beard and a little bit of knowledge, and I always post pictures of my baked goods, and friends have liked them, and they've asked me recipes, and they've asked me for tutorials, and I guess that's what I'll do, you know. I guess that's what I guess that's what we'll do. Um, you know, and here I'll finish a thought for you. How about that? Yeah, when you chill the cookie dough into a log, you get nice uniform cookies. But the added plus side of that is that when you form your log, you can form it in whatever way you want. So what I normally do is I form it thicker in the middle and taper it on the sides. Roll that plastic up, roll it up together into a log, put it in the freezer. I put it into a freezer bag, and you can keep it in the freezer for 6 months if you want to, longer. It's not going to last that long because they're so good, but the effect of that tapering is fairly simple. Tapering your edges, what you'll get are smaller cookies on one side and larger cookies in the middle. Just one last thing before we go. Do you feel good about this? I feel good about this. Like I feel good about we made something good, um, something worthy of the Woolly Woolly plate. This is the Fred Ware Woolly Woolly plate. Got this in Grantsville, Maryland. Um, my wife, okay, what I like to do is I like just to lay down a paper towel, just because when you're dealing with you know, somewhat greasy cookies here, and this just helps kind of with the grease, you know. But anyway, my wife and her mother, when I met her, they like to take little trips. My wife is an only child, so her and her mom like to take little day trips, and they like to go to Grantsville, Maryland. I am from the Baltimore area, so I love Maryland very much. It is my home. I feel very connected to it. Grantsville is a very beautiful town. It's about an hour or so from here, from Fairmont. So, um, and they have a nice place called the Castleman. It's a very old hotel. They turned it into a restaurant, and it's a fantastic brunch buffet. My God, friends, they make their own donuts. Go to the Castleman for breakfast. But anyway, it's Amish country. It's beautiful. 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 It's It's on the border of PA. We go to Springs, PA. There, they have a very nice Amish market where I get a lot of the stuff I'm going to show you. The stuff I use, spices and things. But anyway, there are flea markets and yard sales all the time in the warmer months. And we went to a flea market and I got that Fred plate. And it's weird. You have something ketchup. You can make a little hair. Something stupid. But I thought, when I saw it, and this is years before we had Wednesday. My daughter, her name is Wednesday, by the way. Um, I loved it. And I thought this is great for a kid. Like I always wanted to be a father. Like my whole life, I wanted to be a father. So I thought this is great for a kid. And I loved it. So when I make something really good cookies. I make a lot of cookies, so when you get good cookies, and you want to show them to the baby, and the wife. They in style. They go on the Fred plate. Um, so, just a couple of cookies here, my friends. Um, but just look at that. Just look at how nice that looks. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, and hey, this took what? Of course the video took much longer, but uh, 20 minutes maybe to whip them up, and then roughly 12 minutes in the oven per batch. I made 6 last night. I made 6 today. Um, so quick, easy. If you're at home at night and you want a quick cookie or after dinner or what have you, very simple, very good. Toast that coconut, my friends. You will thank me later. If you add nuts, the great thing about trash can cookies is that they're anything. You can put anything you want in there. And we did pretzels, cookie bits, white chocolate chips, regular chocolate chips. I think there are many semi-sweet chocolate chips, butterscotch chips. You can add nuts. You can add dried fruit. Anything you want. That's what a trash can cookie is. And that way it appeals to everybody. Everybody's going to find something in there that they love. And so if you make these cookies and, you know, someone, their day is made brighter by it, you are welcome, my friend. You are welcome. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to provide you with crazy videos where I ramble about things, show you how to make cookies or pies or cakes or whatever else I'm going to throw in there while my baby sleeps or, as she gets up. Look, when I was a kid, my grandfather was a cook in the Navy, and he would make, when we go to his house, he would make banana pancakes, and they were this thick. They were thick pancakes. And, 8 a.m., I don't even know how early it was, you would wake up to the smell of those pancakes. And that is a vivid memory in my mind. Every time, just waking up to that smell. And you go out, and he made food for the Navy, so the table was just covered in plates of pancakes. And he'd just say, have as many as you want. And he'd be there at the stove flipping away, And my God, man, the image I want for my child, for her to look back on, it's Sunday morning to come into the kitchen and to smell banana pancakes or to smell trash can cookies or what have you, and to look in here to see her dada baking away, mixing away, and it's not. I can't even tell you how much this stuff costs because it was all from all these, and nothing under the ingredients. It's themselves under $10 for 2 dozen cookies that will look at this. I mean, look at this reaction.
Say please.
I mean, that's a smile on your face in these trying times. I mean, that's all any of us can hope for. So until next time, I hope you're all doing okay. I really do. Even all of you who are really good friends who I don't see or talk to too often, we're all in this together. And I always hoped that others felt the same way I did. That I love you and I need you in my life. and I hope that you're doing okay. But I assume that you're just in your lives, in your worlds, trying to be better, trying to do good, trying to be happy. And I'm right here with you. We don't have to communicate every day, but if you're just watching this because you saw me and you think I'm crazy and you really wanted a nice trash can cookie, and hey, this is pretty much as simple as it gets, then here, you're welcome. Give these to somebody, make somebody happy, and just breathe, people. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Everything is going to be okay.